Welcome back to the Wins and Losses podcast with Winkler and Lakapo here on this beautiful Monday evening.
He got the buffs. He got the buffs this week. The Ravens helped him out in Baltimore.
Who would have thought the Ravens would have been the one that got me?
You finished 7-4. I finished 6-5.
Yeah.
And a very mediocre week this week.
We're very close. Since we only picked one game different, it came down to one game.
Baltimore. The Bears went back to their old self. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you again. He was down.
I'm that excited that we won. I had to do a little sneezing, I think. Yes, it was quite a weekend in sports this weekend.
Oh my gosh, you want to talk about just major news? We're just gonna.
I like the first check. Do you still have a job? Do I have a job? I mean,
I do.
I'm hoping.
We'll never know how long.
I better change my buyout. Is what I need to do.
Oh my gosh, I want to get paid $55 million for letting me go.
I mean, what is it? 3-4 weeks in a row now. There's been a coach fired on a Sunday.
Brian Kelly gone at LSU. I'm sure you guys have all heard the news. Just unbelievable the fickleness with today's fan base. In a weird way, I get it. He just did not fit. He didn't fit from day one when he went down with that fake accent, went down to Louisiana and said about his family or whatever down there. It was an awkward fit. But, he was a winner. And
he can coach football.
That's all LSU. That's all LSU wanted. They wanted a winner. And, and the thing is it's not that Brian Kelly doesn't know how to coach football. I mean, his name is actually being murmured as the lead candidate for the Penn State job. It got freed up when James Franklin got fired. So, I mean, it's not like he can't coach. He just wasn't a good fit. I think between the fan base and just the demographics, it's a different part of the country. I mean, it sounds weird, but he's a northern coach.
He's been up here forever. He started at Grand Valley in Michigan, and he went from Central to Cincinnati to Notre Dame. Yeah. Sometimes I think it shows you the grass isn't always greener on the other side. If you got something that's going well, and why jump ship to something else just because you think it's going to be better? That's why Kelly left. He's like, well, I can recruit better, recruit differently. I don't have these academic standards I have to enforce.
Yeah, but you also don't have patient donors.
Correct.
In today's day and age of college football, the thing that probably gets under my skin the most, but in a weird way I understand it, is the fickleness of these quote-unquote donors, these boosters. You give millions of dollars to a university to fund their football program, to fund their NIL collective, does not or should not mean that you have a say on who stays and who goes. I feel like today's fan or today's donor is basically like a pseudo-owner of a college team. It'd be like me giving millions of dollars to Michigan and saying, I don't like Sharon Moore, you need to fire him. And Michigan saying, well, we can't do that. And I'll say, fine, I just won't give you millions of dollars. Yeah. And what are they going to do? And they got hundreds of thousands of people doing that. I mean, when they're chanting Brian must go and fire Kelly at their game, I mean, you got a lot of fickle fans, and that's what happened with James Franklin, what happened with Billy Napier. I mean, these massive buyouts. I mean, and the carnage isn't done. I mean, Mike Norvell at Florida State most likely won't last. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin most likely won't last. Freeze at Auburn
could go. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many, and it's a domino effect, and all those places are going to need coaches, and all these coaches are interchangeable. I mean, James Franklin's being murmured to go to Florida or possibly LSU. Brian Kelly's being rumored to go to Penn State already. I mean, anymore it used to be almost like a sign of shame to get fired. Now there's no shame. It's just
there's all kinds of jobs. Where's the next place?
Yeah, I mean, you used to get fired and be like, oh my God, he used to be like a pariah. Don't touch him. He got fired. Now it's no big deal. I'll hire you at the next place. So who knows?
It's just crazy. The college football is not worried about how much money that people have, because you need to pay $50 million to get rid of a coach.
They really talk out of both sides of their mouth.
We need money.
Every time you talk to, I can't tell you how many emails I get daily from the Michigan NIL Collective, the Champion Circle, and all the Victors Valiant. I get all these emails saying how it's crucial and vital that they get money to maintain their standards, and it's basically they're schlepping for money so they can pay their players, and I get it. But if you're hurting that bad for money, why in the heck are you firing coaches?
And a buyout for $50 million.
Yeah. I mean, let him finish out his contract, or even let him finish out the year. I mean, anymore, they don't even let you finish the year. I mean,
this is wild.
LSU has Alabama next week.
I know.
They have Alabama, and they're going to fire their coach. Like, what?
That's crazy.
I mean, if they have any chance of winning, it's going to be with Brian Kelly.
Yep.
I mean,
I think he has the best shot of doing it.
I don't know. I mean, it's like Penn State. Penn State fired James Franklin. They have Ohio State next week.
It goes back to, like, you think about the NCAA's fine versus Michigan, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That money means nothing because literally everyone's paying out $50 million. Look at these colleges. That's like a fine right there.
It's a drop in the bucket. I tell you, these universities have enormous collectives. They have so much money. I mean, the fact that LSU is going to pay Brian Kelly $55 million
without blinking an eye,
and still have to pony up probably close to 10 to 15 million to get a tie if they want a splashy hire. You know, I've heard names like Clark Lee from Vanderbilt. I've heard names like Brent Key from Georgia Tech. Yeah. They're a little lower end, but I've also heard names like Marcus Freeman, and I've heard names like Lane Kiffin, and even like Saban or Urban Meyer. I mean, you're talking tens
because if they pay Cincinnati that much money,
right?
LSU's going to have to pay.
Kirk Cignetti set the standard at Indiana, so that's the thing that all these coaches are going to say. Cignetti's got that contract. I'm better than him. Dan Lanning's name.
And I got more pressure at LSU, so I need to be paid more than what you pay.
Dan Lanning could very well want to go back to the SEC. He came from Georgia. He's got Georgia roots. You know, granted he's building a program in Oregon, but then Oregon's going to have to pony up some of that Nike money just to keep Dan Lanning. It has just become a wild west out there in college football, and it's really it makes me proud to be a Michigan man because it's like. Thankfully, that doesn't or hasn't happened to my team or our team yet, and hopefully it never will. I just think I know the murmurings of Sharon. They don't know about Sharon and his conservative play calling. You know, I was talking to a buddy yesterday about the conservative play calling. You know, and I get it. Everybody wants to see the flashiness of Bryce Underwood and. You know,
it's hard because we have some athletes. That's what makes it hard.
But, you know, honest to God, you want to talk about Michigan football from the 2000s to 2010 or 2020 to 2025. You know, this latest run of that they've been on. Michigan football is strong line play, strong defense, and a strong run game. And that's basically what they hang their hat on. That's the culture they've built, and that's what they're leaning on. And that's what they're leaning on now. Is it fun to watch? No. I can tell you 100% it's going to be boring. I mean, when Jordan Marshall breaks off a big run, it's awesome.
Well, if you think about it, they're recruiting people that it's more important to be part of the team and win than to have the statistics.
It's a culture thing.
You want to come there and throw 50 times so you can look like you can have quarterback numbers like the Ohio State quarterback or someone else?
I don't think that.
Or are you coming to say, hey, I don't care what happens, I'm here to win, and if I have to hand the ball off because that's what's going to make our team win, then that's what I'm going to do.
I don't think that there's any questioning the arm strength or the talent of Bryce Underwood.
Yeah.
So for all those people out there saying Bryce Underwood isn't utilizing or he's underutilizing his talent, I get it. But are you questioning his talent? No. You can't question his talent. You know, the thing is Michigan's doing what it takes to win. The one game, Oklahoma was kind of an anomaly. I'm going to leave that one alone. But that USC game was a disaster from the beginning. Because from the beginning, they started going away from their identity, you know, and then they had to play catch up, and they were trying to open it up, and their defense wasn't. They were blitzing all the time. You know, this last game, I read a stat that Michigan only blitzed 11% of the time. They were just playing good defense. That bend, don't break defense.
They do better when they don't blitz.
Right.
You let the front four just do
when you blitz, you're leaving your corners on islands. It's an all or nothing. You either get torched or you get the sack. You know, and the thing is, if we didn't get the sack, which we didn't against USC, we got crushed. So it's like now we're just playing a little more conservative. We're bending a little bit, playing good defense. If we can hold them to a field goal or stop them on third, fourth down, great. And it's been working. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. I'm with you, Sharon. Keep it up. I think Michigan can keep on rolling, especially these next 3 games against Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland. And I really think the Buckeyes, I think we are going to show a little more flash. A little more pizzazz. I do think we always keep a little bit under our cuff, you know, and we don't show them everything we got until it's time. But if the weather's nasty, or if it's cold, or if it's snowy,
we got the run game to do it.
We got the run game and the line, and so it's like, I'm for it. That's a Michigan I love. That's a Michigan I grew up with. I grew up in the Bo Schembechler era. Right. I was there for Moeller and Carr, and unfortunately Rodriguez, and Hoke and Harbaugh, and now I'm Sharon. Michigan football is 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and I'm for it. And if you're not, then you might not be a true Michigan fan, or you just want to modernize your taste in college football. I highly recommend you go like Oregon. you know, I mean, that's all I got to say about that, I guess.
It makes it tough, because you do see the people size. We're like, man, we got the most athletic quarterback we've ever had. Why don't we let him get out of there, run some, be a little bit more dynamic in some of our play calls? But yeah, it's just one of those things. I like our identity as a run team. I would like us to see us be a little bit more maybe creative how we do some play calls, maybe to get some of our athletes in space for sure. But I agree. I think that's kind of the blueprint, and it worked really well for Harbaugh those 3 years when we were just dominating.
I get it. I mean,
most people don't play physical football anymore. So if you play physical football,
I do think Sharon looked at that Penn State game back in the 2023 season where we ran it 23 straight times. I know this past game against Michigan State in the second half, we only threw the ball twice, the whole second half, because he's just leaning on that run game, and I think he's looking at that Penn State game.
Why show him anything? Why show anybody anything?
He's like, we're running the ball, stop us. It's almost like a we dare you type thing. And you can call it cocky, you can call it arrogant. I just call it Michigan football, man. That's Michigan football. You're going to stop us. Force us to throw. If you force us to throw, I have confidence that Bryce can beat you. But if we don't need to, why do it?
We were going up against the most favorite coach on Michigan State sideline, Mr. Joe
Rossi.
Joe Rossi, man, that guy was popular. He might have been shown more than the game coverage.
I didn't even know who this dude was.
We didn't know who the coach really. If you've never watched football, you did not know who the Michigan State coach was.
In all honesty, I watched this game with Evan, and we're like, "Who is this guy they're showing? That isn't even their coach. It was their defensive coordinator. They showed him
after every play,
at least 50 times.
Totally.
And then we were watching it. We were at a kind of a get together, and my wife's like, "That's not their head coach." I'm like, "No, that is." And they showed Jonathan Smith, and I'm like, "Yeah, maybe not for long, but he's their coach right now." So, who knows? It was a great game. It wasn't exactly one of those high flying, mark in your books. But anytime you beat your rivals,
just ugly for a while.
Yeah, anytime you beat your rivals and go 4-0 in the past 4 years, do you realize it has been 1,457 days since Michigan State has beaten the Wolverines?
Go Blue.
Do you realize it has been 2,157 days since the Buckeyes have beaten the Wolverines?
Pretty sweet.
And do you realize it's been 2,612 days since the Irish have beaten Michigan? So we are kind of holding our own. We have thousands of days in between since our rivals have beat us. So it might have not have been the most flashy of games, but it sure was very gratifying.
It's a W in the column.
And we will take the W every day of the week. Moving on. Hopefully we can kind of keep going 9-2 up into that Buckeyes game. We just got to get better every week. That mentality. It's 0-0 every week now, and just kind of keep building. We did lose Cole Sullivan. I guess had his arm in a sling this week, so I do think our backer's out this coming week. We'll talk more about the upcoming game against Purdue on Thursday when we.
But our linebackers have been amazing. Michigan's linebackers have
Jimmy Rolder has really showed me something. Tell you, Hausman came in and Barham came in, and they were very highly touted. TJ Guy was highly touted. Cole Sullivan and Jimmy Rolder got no publicity coming into this season, and both those guys have played fantastic, hands down. Kudos to them. Totally. They played awesome. So good job, Michigan. Great win. Way to keep Paul back home where he belongs in Ann Arbor.
So who are some games that impressed you this week other than that Michigan win?
Well, I tell you, Ole Miss really showed out against Oklahoma. That was a big.
And Oklahoma's big.
That was a big
time you went on the road, right?
It's really kind of disheartening to me because I would have liked to see Oklahoma keep winning for Michigan's sake. Yeah. It helps them because when you lose to a team, if they keep winning, it looks better for you. But they're just not the same Oklahoma team. No. John Mateer has been just all over the place, and they're really run by their quarterback. And they still have a lot of meat on their bone. it wouldn't shock me if they lost another 2 to 3 games. So Oklahoma is really, really struggling. Ole Miss was a huge win for them, first ranked win for them under the Lane Kiffin era. So good for them. Who knows how long Lane's going to be there, but hey. Vanderbilt had a huge win over Missouri. I guess it came down to a Hail Mary that was caught at the 1-yard line, and Missouri did not get in. Missouri did lose their quarterback, Bo Pabrula, during that game. He's going to be out for the actual season.
That's tough, yeah. That's tough.
Huge loss.
Missouri's been playing pretty well.
They have been.
Good quarterback. That Texas A&M, of course, we talked about LSU. Pretty much got.
How do you go into Death Valley and annihilate them? Just annihilate.
They are impressive right now.
Yeah,
they are impressive team.
Another team that's impressive. I'm gonna say it. I'm not a believer, and I don't like them, but boy. They beat the tar out of UCLA. Indiana. IU played well, man. Good offense, good defense.
Now, do you see that? See?
No, I don't like you. I don't like you.
You gave your team a little props, though.
I gave you some love just because you beat a very hot UCLA team pretty handily. But I still want you to play the big boys. You got to run up against Oregon, Ohio State, or Michigan. We'll see what happens.
He already took down Oregon, so see if you get one of the other. The
Oregon,
real.
no.
He beat Oregon. Indiana did.
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
Yes, they did.
At Oregon, remember?
No, they got lucky. And then Memphis came back to beat South Florida. A big win for the Memphis.
Alabama had a close game, too. That was pretty – they were on the rocks there for a long time.
Another team that just snuck out another one is Texas. Oh, my gosh. Texas, that overtime win. Arch got knocked out. He could be out this week for a concussion, I heard.
Really?
He got a concussion.
It's like one of the last plays of the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're mandatory to sit out 5 days. He has to get analyzed by the doctors and cleared before he can play. So he might miss this week's game. Believe they play Vanderbilt this week. So it might be a little tough game for Texas.
Yeah.
Vandy's going to be a top 10 team. BYU with a big win to stay undefeated, beating Rocco and the
Vanderbilt
boys.
Texas, yep.
Yeah, it's at Texas, which helps them out. But, their backup quarterback played real well, won that game in overtime for them. So, those were some of the big college games. I know it was dominated by the coaching carousel. We'll talk more about the upcoming games on Thursday when we have our podcast Thursday. We do want to transition, or we do have the new AP Top 25, we got Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Bama, Georgia, Oregon, Mississippi.
I like to say this. Who would have thought that we would be talking about Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt up there?
Yeah, I tell you,
that
goes.
Are we kidding me?
I want to go back.
That's wild, isn't it?
And tell you what the
those aren't. When you think about football schools, those aren't football schools, right? No. So it's just wild to see them in the top 10. They're playing good. They're all playing great football
because they have money. They're NIL.
The money is totally changing. I think when you have a bigger playoff selection, you have more hope because recruits are going to go more places because they think, okay, there's more chances of us getting the playoff.
Right.
But it's only like 2 teams or 4 teams. Well, I'm going to go to Alabama or Georgia or
they want to go where they can win.
Yeah, places that you're most likely going to have a chance to get in that big playoff. Now it totally opens it up.
It's astonishing for me to realize that with the new AP poll coming out next week, actually the playoff poll comes out, which is going to be very interesting. But the preseason, and you know how I feel about preseason polls. We're looking back at our preseason. We have number 1 Texas, who is currently number 20. Number 2 Penn State.
Should they still be ranked anyway?
Number 2 Penn State's currently unranked. Number 3 Ohio State is number 1. Clemson at number 4 unranked. Georgia 5 is 5. Notre Dame 6 is now 12. Oregon 7 is now number 6. Bama 8 is now number 4. LSU is number 9. They're unranked, and Miami 10 is 10. So you have 6 of those 10 teams are either outside of the top 10 or outside of the polls completely. So that shows you all the preseason jargon, hype is nothing. Texas looks like a terrible team, and the only reason they're 20 is because they started off number 1.
Right. And you think of all those other 2-loss teams that
you got teams like Michigan that's a 2-loss team. You got teams like Iowa. Iowa is playing some good football. They've only lost 2 games on a field goal to Iowa State, and they lost a very close one to Indiana. And they aren't even ranked because they started way down low. But Texas is number 20 because they started off number 1. I mean, it's crazy for the way the polls work. But I do believe the playoff poll that comes out next week is going to be pretty accurate. Looking forward to see where the pollsters are going to have teams.
Even Washington still isn't ranked, and they got 2 losses. They got a pretty tough schedule.
And their 2 losses are to Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, good losses.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, we want to transition over to the NFL, get some NFL in before we sign off. We had a nasty injury to Cam Scadaboo yesterday.
Hope he's healthy and can get back quick, man.
Prayers go out to Cam Scadaboo, man. That foot was turned the opposite direction.
It looked like he broke his leg, but it actually ended up being a dislocated ankle, as I heard.
Oh, gosh.
So that's still not going to be fun to come back from that.
No, he's a tough dude, though.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy. So, man, nasty injury to Scadaboo. You know, and the Giants were really kind of showing some life.
Yeah, totally. And they've lost their best wide receiver and their best running back right now. So that's just not good for them. But if I had to tell you, at the beginning of the year, if I said Colts, Broncos, Patriots, what would you think if I said that?
I would have said, you are nuts.
Yeah, they're going to be bad. They're going to be some of the worst teams in the
Broncos,
league.
I would have said the Broncos would have been, but I didn't think they'd be ahead of the Chiefs or Chargers, you know.
No.
I didn't think the Patriots would be ahead of the Bills. I didn't think the Colts would be ahead of the Jags or the Texans.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy to think in their divisions those teams are leading.
Let alone the best record in the NFL.
Yes. I mean, you look at the Colts. The Colts.
And they're beating people. They're killing people.
Who do the Colts? I think the Colts' next couple games are very winnable games.
They do. Because like you said about the schedule, right?
They had a soft schedule because they had a bad record last year or whatever. And it's just like you look at it, they win a couple more games, and they're almost going to automatically be guaranteed a playoff berth. You know, let alone they get the Steelers. You get the Falcons aren't playing very good.
4-3 Steelers.
Ooh,
3-4
then they run
Falcons.
up against the Chiefs.
Then they got the Chiefs, the Texans at 3-4.
Yeah, Texans are beatable. Jags are beatable.
Yeah, I mean they got
some tough games,
but not crazy.
You know, I mean the thing is if the Colts can get home field advantage and be in that dome out of the elements most of the year.
But they're just beating people, though. I mean, even like the Chargers, they beat them 38-24.
And when are you going to start talking about Daniel Jones for MVP?
I know.
They could be talking Daniel Jones for MVP.
The best running back in the league right now is
Jonathan Taylor having a great season for the Colts. So yeah, the Colts are just killing it right now. The Colts are doing great.
So would you put any money on any of those 3 teams winning the Super Bowl, though?
No.
I kind of feel the same.
Nope.
It's one of those things it's impressive, but man, I don't believe it until they can do it in the playoffs.
When it comes down to it, it's going to be the old trustees. It's going to be, unfortunately, the Chiefs. It's going to be the Bills. It could very well still be the Ravens. The Ravens could come back and get the Steelers in that division.
If Burrow somehow comes back.
You know, I mean, and look how Houston's playing better football. They could come back.
Yeah, Houston had a big win.
You know, I mean, and then you got the NFC, which I think a lot of the power is in between the Packers and Lions, Commanders. Cowboys are playing okay. The Eagles, of course, are dominant. 49ers are playing well. You know, it's like I think there's a lot of power in the NFC. Well, there's a lot of power in both conferences, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, I'd put my money on any of those teams that I just mentioned ahead of the Colts.
Totally. You would think of many other teams because it's kind of like, man, are they for real? Are they not for real?
Just don't trust them. They're almost like the IU of professional football, you know? So it's interesting. Maybe it's just the state of Indiana, the Colts and the Hoosiers.
Was there a surprise game from the weekend from NFL that you're like, man, kind of shocked that they lost this weekend?
Well, I was actually shocked the way the Falcons crumbled to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are not a good football team.
I know Kirk Cousins was starting, but man, he's still...
Just to get crushed like that at home. That was in Atlanta. Saints got crushed. Of course, Baker touchdown maker.
You don't mess around. How about the Jets? Jets get their first win. Aaron Glenn gets his first win out of a crazy, crazy game. Hall throws a touchdown pass at the end. That was an insane pass too. I saw the highlights. It was like literally he's covered and he threw it and the guy just caught it.
Got lucky. Sometimes
I'm happy for him. Happy for Aaron Glenn since he's a Lion guy.
Former Lion.
I mean, really, Dan Campbell's first year with the Lions, they started 0-6 and 0-7, and they got to win. So
he's got to build a program.
Can Glenn get something going there?
Got to give him some time.
You do.
One that shocked me, and it was the one that lost me the Buffs this week. Those Bears. Just when they give me some hope, and I think they're going to turn the corner, they're finally going to get good again. They're going to go back to. Now, I'm not necessarily saying the 85 Bears, but I'll just take the 95, the Brian Urlacher Bears. You know, it's like, come on, give me something. You know, it's like, gosh, they go back to just looking awful again. I don't know what's going on with Caleb Williams. I can't tell if he's the real deal or just a bust. I just 1 week he gives me hope, and 1 week he makes me want to bench him. You
know? Yeah, he's kind of all over the place, inconsistent. I feel like the only reason they're doing well is because Ben Johnson's a really good coach.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I can't figure them out. I know I have them penciled in for the playoffs, but I don't know. I don't know what.
Same thing with them. Is it patience, right? First year coach just got to be patient.
Oh, I think they have to be patient with Ben Johnson. I don't know with Caleb, man.
So Caleb, I'm sure he gets another year for sure.
Oh yeah,
but he's going to have to really show that.
Contract out. Yeah, he's got that 3-year rookie contract. So after next year, I think you make your decision on him.
I was pretty shocked with that Texans-San Francisco game. Because Texans have not been playing very well, and the 49ers are playing really well.
They dominate. Well, that was without Nico Collins. Without Nico,
26-15. That's a pretty dominating game. But like anything in the NFL, if you're not ready to play, I mean, they're all professionals. They're all the best of the best. If you're not ready to play, you're going to lose.
The NFL has so much parity. I mean, like I tell you every week, any game. I mean, some games look like snoozers. Like we said the Buccaneers Saints would be a snoozer, and it was, But, I mean, could have very well if the Saints would have played well. I know they benched Radler in that game or whatever, but still, I mean, but even the games that look like
and
snoozers,
your 3 MVP candidates are probably Drake May, Daniel Jones, and Baker touchdown maker.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought those 3?
I'm voting for Baker.
I think it'd be Allen, Mahomes, I mean, anyone, Gall.
Yeah.
Which he's still in it too, probably. But like
they all
Hurts. I mean, it's just crazy how well those guys are doing. The Patriots. That is a pretty. I know he's a great coach, though.
Yeah.
I do like him as
Vrabel.
a coach.
Yeah, Vrabel's a great coach. So we got some good NFL action this past weekend. Tonight we have the big Monday nighter, Commanders at Chiefs. Go Washington.
Chiefs, baby.
Don't like them. Just don't like the Chiefs. We'll see if this guy's happy or not. But,
Come on.
See if Mahomes. I think the Chiefs are probably going to get in a hot streak here, but pains me to say, but we'll see.
Is Daniels playing tonight?
No, they're going Marcus Mariota.
Oh, okay, he's good. He's good backup though.
The old Oregon Duck, going to start for Washington tonight. So we'll see what happens. Also, Game 3 of the World Series tonight, tied up 1-1, going to L.A. tonight.
Great pitching performance in Game 2 by
Yamamoto in complete game. Game 2 for the Dodgers.
You don't see that much these days in baseball.
I tell you, man, judging by that Game 1, once the Dodgers bullpen came, it was 4-4 or 4-2 Dodgers, and they ended up losing 11-4. I mean, they gave up a grand slam, 2-run homer. I mean, so they're pitching. If their pitching's on, nobody's beating the Dodgers.
Correct.
If they get into that pen, I give the Blue Jays and Vlad, your guy.
Vlad, baby, come on, Junior.
Give him a shot. So you never know. This is a pivotal Game 3 because I think if the Dodgers go up 2-1, with the next 2 being in LA, they might just close them out.
Yeah.
They might just close them out. So.
And Blue Jays are in similar territory versus Mariners. They're down 0-2 going back home, or going back to Seattle, wasn't it? Yeah, going back to Seattle, and they somehow found a way to win some road games. So let's see if they can be gutsy and get some gritty wins out there in LA.
Yeah,
big.
Yeah, no, it should be good. The World Series most likely will be over this week. I think if they do go Game 7, it's going to be early next week. So we'll definitely talk a little more World Series as we get into the clinchers. We're also going to talk more college and pro football coming up on our Thursday show. We are going to film Thursday because Friday's Halloween. So
Trick or treat now.
Hey, and a shout out for anybody watching in Edwardsburg, Michigan. Eddie's in the playoffs on Friday too. Take on Vicksburg, so go Eddie.
Big one for them.
So there'll be an Eddie's game Friday too. So please make sure you tune in Thursday for our Thursday show. We'll do our picks and predictions for the NFL and Week 10 in college football. So until then, we're signing off. I'm Joey Lockepoe.
Evan Winkler.
We're gonna say big go blue.